watching this documentary right now called, it's the craziest fucking documentary I've ever seen. It's called 9/11, The New Pearl Harbor. And they go, it is the deepest dive on all of the little things about 9/11. And basically, bro, it will fuck, it's very objective, where it's not just like a one-sided thing where they say conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. They take all of the conspiracy theory debunkers of 9/11, like all of the people around the world who say 9/11, it is what the government said it was, right? It was Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
I'm not sure Saddam was part of that.
No, they did. That's what they said. That's what they said. The war on terror was that they implicated Saddam Hussein.
They tried to. There never was any proof, but there's no proof.
But that's how they justified.
Yes, that was
one
of the ways. Yeah,
the
one
Iraq
of the ways.
War.
Yeah, just like the weapons of mass destruction.
Right. Just like Pearl Harbor justified going into Germany, right? Or Japan. Yeah. Anyways, they make all of the connections,
it's actually Pearl Harbor was they were attacked, and then
right.
because they were allies, Hitler then declared war against the United States,
right,
and he had already been at war.
It's all connected, yeah.
I'll go with that. That's cool.
So they go all the way down to they go as granular as to where they're in the Pentagon with Dick Cheney. And they have
old Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney in the Pentagon with his chief of staff, all of the lower rung people who are in there, and they're tracking the airplane the last plane that's headed towards the Pentagon, right? They're tracking it from 80 miles away, and it's 80 miles out. The kid comes in the room, sir, 80 miles out. Does the order still stand? Goes away. Sir, 70 miles out. Does the order still stand?
Is it footage?
No, this is all documented on the report.
Okay.
And then he comes back in. Every 10 miles, he comes in and tells Dick Cheney. He's like, sir, 10 miles out. Does the order still stand?
What is the order? Not to shoot it down?
No, they don't know. But they're assuming that it's not to shoot it down because at 10 miles...
Because they're not shooting it down.
They're not shooting it down. At 10 miles out, Dick Cheney snaps his neck back and says, of course the order still stands. And the kid is obviously distraught. And there's multiple people in there that testify to this. The kid goes back away. 5 minutes later, the plane fucking crashes into the Pentagon. Okay, another big thing about the whole Pentagon thing is the Pentagon is a giant, it's 4 stories. It's not a very tall building, right? It's
but it's the largest building.
But it's
the world.
30 acres. It takes up
massive.
30 acres, but it's only 4 stories tall.
Right.
So think about it. If you're a hijacker and you're going to take a plane and crash it into the Pentagon, are you going to take it? The thing took out 4 power lines while it was going 500 miles an hour, fucking 50 feet above the ground, just to crash into the side of the Pentagon. If you're a hijacker, a fucking low-level pilot who's not an expert pilot,
right,
you're just going to crash into the roof of that thing because you're gonna do way more damage. You're going to cause way more destruction. Rather, you have to be they make the case that you have to be they show flight simulators with trained pilots, and they show exactly how hard it would be to fly that plane 50 feet above the ground for the distance he did to crash it into the side of the building. Any fucking hijacker would just crash it into the top because you do more damage, and it'd be way easier. So that's just one of the examples they make, which is fucking when they lay out all of the reasons why it's doesn't really match up to the narrative. It fucking really blows your mind.
Matt, you should watch this. I'd like to see what you think.
They
about
still
it.
hit the building. I mean,
they hit it.
Yeah, he hit the building, but it was
there was nobody in that part of the building as well.
No,
there were 100 people died.
They said that area was under construction.
That part of the building was the only part of the building that had just finished construction. They just redid that whole part of the building to make it they insulated every single wall with Kevlar. They made it fireproof.
Oh yeah,
they had
the windows.
Yeah,
they just put in new windows.
Yeah.
So listen, I was locked up with a guy named Chris Marrero. Mm-hmm. Chris Marrero got, I think, 15 years for filing income tax return or filing something to get money back for people because Chris is one of these. He's a sovereign citizen, and he believes that the government uses our social security number to borrow money against us, and the money doesn't exist, and that you get listen, it's total like insanity. And he was filing paperwork for people to get them the money back that the government gets for whatever. It's insanity.
Yeah.
And he ends up obviously then he goes to trial, and he ends up getting like 15 years. He believes in every single conspiracy out there. I've never met anybody that can tie conspiracy theories together, and he was so entertaining for me. Like we would sit there, Boziak and I would sit there and go, fuck, what are you doing? I don't know, man. What are you doing? No. I go, let's go find Chris. You go, oh yeah. And we'd go and we'd talk to Chris, and Chris would go on and on and on. I bet you he's got conspiracy theories with 9/11 that would blow your mind. I'm desperate to get him on my podcast because Chris will go for 10 hours straight, and the great thing about him is you can kind of mock him and it doesn't bother him. Like he's not going to flip out on you and start swinging. He's not going to you're not going to body slam you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So but Chris will just go on, and they're amazing because he's like, oh, I can prove it. I got the book so and so, and he gets so jacked up and excited about it. He's hilarious.
Right, but here's the thing. What do you think makes it a conspiracy theory? What defines it? Like, do you think like the whole everything I explained to you, the whole 9/11 documentary?
Can we call Chris?
What makes it a? I'm asking you, what makes it a conspiracy theory?
Because it's not an official report.
What's your definition of a conspiracy theory?
That basically you're saying that it's not what it appears to be. Like you're saying it has an ulterior storyline, or it's something. Mm-hmm. It's something
saying
more.
The government.
It's something more sinister than what they're telling us. That's the conspiracy theory. Is they're saying this is what it is. It's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty simple. And you're saying no. What really happened is something super sinister that they're hiding. That
like
makes
JFK. What do you think about JFK?
I mean, I think he got shot. Do
you think Oswald acted alone?
It depends on what documentary I watch. Unfortunately,
I think now is accepted.
Documentary that said he acted alone.
I think now is accepted narrative that he didn't act alone. Right. I don't think that's any longer disputed.
We talked about this last time, like UFOs. Like the government basically came out and said, "Yeah, there's UFOs. We don't know what they are."
Yeah.
Nobody flipped out.
Yeah.
Like nobody jumped off a building. Like nobody. People aren't going nuts.
Because they
They're not
say
storming
anything else but that.
But I mean, slowly kind of let out over the course of 50 years, and now people had basically come to the conclusion that they believed there were USOs. So when they finally said,
"Hey, there
are," and we actually have some footage.
Well, look at
people
it this
are
way.
like, "Yeah, I knew it."
Look at it this way.
And they go to work
the
next day and pay their mortgage.
Look at it this way, though. Like,
we gotta call Chris.
Why do you want to call Chris?
Chris is so entertaining. If you got Chris on this podcast, bro, you can't. I want him on my. I've never really mentioned him before because I want him on mine so bad. But he's on an ankle monitor.